All right, welcome everybody. This is going to be the weekly recap for our chat room ending on July 16, 2021. The lesson today is we're going to be talking about, are you making this one most important trading mistake? I see this a lot, and it's funny that I never see anybody talking about it. So important. So if you're having trouble making money, if you're finding that all you're doing is taking losing trades and you're missing the winning trades, I think I have a solution for you to help you with that and get you on the right track. So stay tuned. We'll go over it here in just a little bit. But first, let's take a look at the stats this week and see how we did. All right, so here are the stats for the week. Once again, these are naked stats, folks. If you've been watching my videos, what does naked stat mean? It means that this is very raw. This is saying that if a particular pattern sets up as a buy or sell, you are blindly buying and selling, and this is the result that you would have had you done that. I don't suggest you trade like that, but the point of this is to show you that even if you're a brand new trader, you're new to trading, you have been trading for a while, I can certainly help put you where these patterns will help put the odds in your favor coming right out of the gate, and that's the intent. It is not meant to just blindly trade this. There are other things that we use to filter out a lot of these trades so we can increase our profitability and our percentages, okay? But the intent here is just to show you that the patterns are very strong on their own, and they have been for many, many, many years. If you've been watching any of my videos, you've seen us talk about that. Okay, so that being said, overall, little weak on the euro this week, euro US. Not sure why we're sitting in the 60 percentile. That's really low for the euro US. I would expect to see that more in the pound US. Pound US seems to be picking up, which is kind of interesting. I've noticed it creep up in the pound US, starting to get a little bit higher on those percentages. But typically, the pound US is going to be somewhere in the 67%. I would expect the euro to be somewhere in the 70% on average. I'm seeing it in the Aussie, and I do obviously see it in the US yen. What I've been trading for the last several weeks has been the US yen and the euro. And I'm probably going to continue on that, because typically when I see this kind of action, whether it be going from the morning to the afternoon or from day to day, when I get weak like this, it tells me it's going to start coming back strongly, and that's kind of been its history. So I'm going to stick with the US yen and the euro US this week as we go into this coming week. So also, first trades of the day, very good on average, 90%. If you average the morning and the night morning only had one losing trade in the morning, and of course we were hitting at 100% at night, so it gives us a 90%, which is kind of what we'd expect on the first trade of the day. I know a lot of my students now are taking advantage of that first trade of the day, having a lot of success. There's really no magic to it. It's just that typically in the morning and or in the evening, coming out of the gate, that first trade tends to be a winner, because we tend to hit it right as that volatility starts to pick up, and that's what we like to see. All right, so most of the action we're going to see really good trades first thing in the morning, and then typically it starts to get quiet as we go into the afternoon and the early afternoon, and then we start picking up, and then it gets strong again in the evenings, and pretty much will stay that way until the following day or following morning. So a lot of really good opportunities for trading these binaries, which is what I like about them. You're not limited to just a few hours a day. These are open 24 hours, right? 24 hours, 5 days a week. So you have a lot of opportunity to make money based on your schedule. So just a great thing. These binaries I just never found a better instrument to trade than these binaries. All right, so let's go into the CB trades. Not bad overall for the CB trades for the week. $4,300, little low compared to what I'm used to making, but as I'm getting busier and busier, I'm not really finding myself putting a lot of time into my personal trading. Most of my personal trading is going to come on Thursdays, and or typically Sundays is when I can really focus a little bit more. But nonetheless, still, what a great week overall. Really happy with type of setups we're starting to get with CB. We're getting a lot more of them. Now, once again, remember, CB is different than the core strategy. When we're talking about the core strategy, this core strategy, okay, is one pattern we call PAP, P-A-P. There's a total of 5 different patterns. This is just one, but we show you a total of 5 different patterns that have these same types of percentages of winning. But this is just one of those patterns that we're showing in PAP. CB does have some additional patterns that do not come with core, but also CB is, the way we set up CB is it gives us multiple opportunities. It gives us in the money, it gives us at the money, and it gives us, which I love, deep out of the money. So we can start trading, risking $10 to make 90, risking $15 to make 85. That's what I like. So the beauty of something like that is we can start adding more size, right, without necessarily taking any more risk as we would with an in the money, right? So going deep out of the money, we can take as much risk as we would in the money, but adding with a lot more contracts. So when it does hit, it usually hits really big. And most of the folks that start to eventually go to CB, that's typically what they stay with because of those types of results. That being said, still a very good week, for CB. And so let's talk about our lesson today, which is really important. And also, it's so funny that I never hear anybody talk about this. And I saw some of my students doing it last week. Some of those are starting to go live. They're going from their simulated accounts or demo accounts to the live accounts. And they're struggling with it a little bit, and we talked about it, and it's something that we've talked about in the past, but it really goes to show that it's just a common thing that everybody does. And I think if you can get this one thing under control, I think besides there are a lot of different things we can do, but this one thing seems to be something everybody does. And if you can just get this one little thing under control, I think you're going to start seeing your results start to get better and better, which is interesting because we talked about it and some of my students had made the change, and sure enough, they're starting to show a lot more wins than losses. And so let's talk about that, and let's get into that right here. All right, so here's a view of my my Nadex account, and if you've watched any of my videos, particularly the fundamental video that I put out when I first started my chat room, I talked about a very, very important thing to do, and that is obviously eliminate as many distractions as possible. If you guys are listening to the news, you're listening to CNBC, you're trying to look at, whatever you're listening to, turn off all that commentary. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the fundamentals are doing out there. It's all going to be in price action. Since we're trading 5 minutes, even if some sort of big report or event comes out, it's only going to affect the markets for a short period of time. So don't get wrapped up in that. But the biggest thing that I see people do, and I noticed this week, is this little number right up here. It's called account value. Okay, I never keep my account value up. I always block my account value. Okay, so what tends to happen is people, when they go from demo, which they've been very successful, they start to go to live. Why are they not as successful in live as they are in demo? Because they get too wrapped up into this number. They're watching their equity bounce up and down. All right. Unlike with the demo account, they don't really care. So what do? They become a trader. They're trading more of the charts than they are their equity. But once they go live, things change all of a sudden, and now they're trading their account value or their equity, and they're not trading the charts. Okay. So that's what you must do. Look, I've been trading for 40 years. I still don't look at it. Yes, I have a mental idea of kind of where I am for the day, but I don't have any specifics, and I certainly don't see that account value bounce up and down as it will when you get into a trade. So it's not unusual to get into a trade, and all of a sudden you see that you are red, okay? And it may stay red for a while before you go green. You can't be trading your account value. You have to trade the charts, all right? And so what tends to happen is that you go live, and all of a sudden all you're doing is you're looking at this number up here and saying, oh my God, I can't take this loss. and they tend to make mistakes, and they tend to get out of trades early. They don't hold on to them long enough. And then they take a loss, and then the next trade comes up, and they're looking at their equity, and the next trade goes a little bit red, and they're jumping out, and now they're trying to pick and choose the trades instead of sticking with the trades they need to be sticking with and sticking to the charts and making those trades. Because remember, this is a game of probabilities, all right? We know how the probabilities work. You can't be going in there and picking and choosing. You're going to mess up the probabilities, okay? So you need to follow the plan. You need to be able to make that trade, and even if it's lost, the next trade that comes up, and as long as all the parameters are in place, all the patterns are set up, then you make the trade again, all right? You don't double guess it. You have to trade the probabilities. That's how you're going to be successful, and you have to be able to believe in what you're doing. But turn off account value. Don't look at your account value. It is going to mess you up, all right? So I think by making that one little change, do it now when you're trading demo. If you're trading in a demo account, simulated account, turn that off. Get used to not looking at that, okay? Look at it. You can look at it in the morning and then shut it off, and then at the end of the day, look at it again and kind of get an idea where you were. There's nothing wrong with doing that. We all do that. But shut that off so you can focus on trading and not trading your account value. So that's it. That's my tip for the week. I think you're going to see that your results are going to improve by doing that. I will be back again next week for the next weekly recap. Do expect a good week this week. Like I said, because I saw the euro being kind of weak this week, I do expect it to come back and start to see a higher percentages. But once again, doesn't mean you can't make money even if it's a low percentage. We do have other filters that we look at as well. So that being said, everybody have a great trading week. Have any questions, you can always go to my website, binaryprostrategies.com. Obviously, if you like these videos, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe so I can keep you up to date on any new training videos or any new information we have coming out. And our next webinar will be out soon, so you want to make sure you're on our email list for that. Besides that, everybody have a great trading week, and we will talk to you next week.